trying to get to the Harmony Memorial event. Now, you may have heard me talk about this a little bit before. It's a great event. This is a charitable event that's going to be happening in Binghamton, New York. And I do invite people to come down to check this out. It will be at the Recreation Park, or what we locally call Rec Park. It will be on June 29th. It'll be taking place from 10 a.m. until 10 p.m. And in the simplest way to explain it is it's for kids. This is for the children who are in the most need. And on this program, on No Soundbites Allowed, and I know speaking about the rest of the hosts at the Exceptional Conservative Network, I can tell you we all believe in helping kids whenever and everywhere that we can. So we're happy to be able to be talking about this, the Harmony Memorial event. And since I am talking about that, I do want to bring up our guest, who is Heather L. Micha. She is the owner of the Nice to Micha Cleaning. And if people may remember, we actually did an interview with Heather not too long ago, talking about her business, talking about being a single mom. And we're going to get into a little bit of that more in just a moment. In fact, if you're ready, she's there. And we have with us, and I haven't tested the sound yet, so go ahead and say something. Say hi.
Hi.
Say it again.
Hey.
All right. Do you hear yourself in the headphone? Okay. Coming across a little weak on my side, so folks, please bear with me. I know we didn't get a chance to test the microphones beforehand, so
It's my fault.
no, don't. Not blaming anyone. It's just we didn't get the chance to test it, so I have to adjust the sound levels as we go. So bear with me. And if anyone can't hear for some reason, please do let me know, and I will adjust that for you. I got a little. Why do I have this? I have a little bit of echo happening here, so I'm trying to fix that too. In the meantime, while I'm doing that, please tell everyone about you. Who is Heather L. Micha?
Oh boy, where do we start? I am a single mother, a business owner, a full-time student at the moment, also an entrepreneur. I am a woman advocate, and I'm also an advocate for children. So that's really where I'm at right now. I'm just trying to give back to the community and help out and use my talents as much as I can.
Sorry about that background noise, folks. I was trying to fix the microphone. Yes. Talk a little bit closer into the mic if you can, and that'll help a little bit. And so, oops.
Am I on back?
Well, no, you want to be towards the mic, but it's like in between. But you got to go a little bit to your there. Perfect. Well, a little bit over. There. Yeah. I know it's tricky, but it's because we got the microphone in just a weird place, and I'm trying to make it all work for you. Because we're doing live video in the studio, so there you go, folks.
We gotta tell them not to do it from the bottom up.
Oh, there we go.
Top down, right?
Yeah, it really doesn't matter. That's a woman thing. I hear women complaining about that, and you never heard a man ever complain about that in the studio. It's just, it's one of those fashion fads, I think.
It's a marketing piece.
Okay. But with that said, let's say, and to get more serious, and we know each other for quite some time now. We've worked at various events together. We've talked about a lot of different things. So let me say, first of all, you're a member also of the Broome County Republican Women's Club, yes, which did the event on the 9th. What was the feedback? How did the public respond to that? Have you guys been hearing good things about that?
Yeah, it was actually a really good outcome. Just to hear everybody's sides of the story and what they're fighting for. Gathered a lot of knowledge from it. I enjoyed it, and a few other members did as well.
No, it was a great event. I thought it was a lot of fun. It was very informative.
Yes.
And that's one of the important things is, getting to meet the candidates to know who we're voting for in June. And so that makes a big, big difference. Let me ask, and let's actually address, being a single mom, being involved in politics, being a business owner in New York State of all places.
Yeah.
How has that been for you? How's that been working out?
Do we want to answer that honestly? No. No, it's been quite an experience. This is something new that I've just kind of jumped into in the last year and a half. Just trying to gather, how it all works and who's involved and who's not involved and who's passionate and who's not passionate. And that's pretty much where it's at right now. I mean, I have a small role, but that role plays a big part of it.
Well, everyone's role, everyone's part of that process. It all comes together. It all helps. Mm-hmm. So there is no small role in the community because everyone works together on that. Or at least that's what it's supposed to be like, unless you're, Governor Cuomo, and then it's just he says whatever he wants and everyone else has to deal with it. The joy of having a single party running your government, especially in New York State. So there's that, and it's a unique experience. Yes. In your experience, is the local government the same way? Do you have the same kind of challenges that, say, you have coming from the state side of it in running your business?
In running my business?
Yeah.
With politics?
No, just the state regulations, that kind of stuff.
I guess I'm not understanding your question.
Okay. So do you feel like the regulations that the state of New York requires for like everything, is that something that you see it adds to the pressure on a local level, or is it something that's just been overblown by pundits like me?
I think it's overblown.
Okay.
I mean, if you're going for the taxes, then yeah, of course, that's going to affect everyone. There's different regulations you have to follow through, and the insurance. I mean, it's really where I'm at. Commercial work.
Okay. Well, it's always interesting to hear a business owner talking about what they see happening out there, because not everyone gets a chance to talk to small business owners, and they don't get to see how they're dealing with it.
It's more or less the competition, the bigger businesses. You have to compete with their prices, and sometimes it's really hard to do because I don't understand how they make any money. They don't even charge them anything,
No, I can understand that. But I bring all of that up because whenever we see events being created, it's never just one thing. It's a well-rounded person. There's a lot of factors that go into why someone would want to create an event, what the purpose of the event is. It takes into effect every aspect of our lives. And I would imagine that's the case with the Harmony Memorial event. How did you come to decide that you needed to do this, to make this happen?
Well, it started a few years back. I was going to some meetings and listening to people talk, and everybody's going on about everybody fighting this addiction, and people are overdosing left and right, including some friends of mine that I've lost. It just had me thinking, like, what about these children that they're leaving behind? They're going to be without a mom or without a dad, or maybe both, depending if they go to foster care. And that's just very traumatic. And that's something that actually happened to me as well. So I don't know, it just kind of hit my heart. And I'm like, we need to start fighting back and help these children that are the most damaged. If we want to, change this community around, we need to start at the weak point. And grow,
Yeah. No, that's an important thing. I mean, if we're not trying to grow and improve things for the next generation, there is no next generation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You got to break that foundation and try to plant some seeds in them and get them on the right path, and that's really important.
So, and you saw the opioid epidemic has been something that's been talked about a lot.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have been very focused on that. And you said it's affected some people And I think most people in the Northeast of America have had at least one person that's been affected by opioids, opioid addiction, or actually any form of addiction, whether it's alcohol or other drugs. And it's starting to get a lot of attention right now. So let me ask you, have you seen it getting better, or is that something that's getting worse? Because we've gotten mixed in the news, mixed answers on that.
Well, I'm going to be honest with this question. If you look around our community, we're losing businesses left and right. People are going on welfare and they can't take care of themselves, which, most people would go out to use alcohol or drugs to help with the stress, and then that kind of just affects their children. And it's a constant circle that I've seen grow tremendously in this area. There's a lot of people that are struggling, a lot of people that are, going through the addiction and fighting, and some people are not winning. But again, it goes back to these children, what are we doing for them? Is there really an outreach for these type of children? No, it's all about the addicts. There's a recovery group for this addict, a recovery group for that, program here and there, but there's nothing for these kids, So I have seen it grow tremendously.
It has been. That's what I've been hearing a lot of, is that there's been a lot of growth in everything to do with addiction, not just with opioids, but with prescription pills, OxyContin, seeing it with some of the other drugs that are out there as well, even crack. That's kind of making a resurgence.
Right now, so they're changing that.
Fentanyl has been huge. And we're seeing this affect so many aspects of our lives. And I think a lot of it comes from the fact that, if, like you said, and like I've mentioned before, when people don't have jobs, when we don't have work, that opens up the door to so many other things like depression. And people get more and more depressed, not happy about where their lives are. And then we see this cycle start. And the kids are the ones who are affected the most, because they don't even understand or know.
The neglect from it, or, maybe the abuse, who knows? Each story is different,
Yeah, but they all have kind of the same connection there.
Yeah.
Which is
lacking in support and love and guidance.
So what do you expect is going to happen with the Harmony Memorial event? Like, what's going to happen there?
Well, what I would wish it would happen. This is going to be the first year, so I'm sure it's more or less just getting the word out and getting people involved. What I hope to happen is, just have the community come together and show these children, hey, we're here for you. We want to help you. We want to support you. We already have a whole bunch of different bands that have lined up and acts and
Can you mention?
Can I mention?
Yeah, well,
I haven't released that information yet.
Well, that's why I'm asking about it. That's why I was trying to find out.
Almost.
See, it's part of my job.
I want to get the surprise.
I want to be the first one to have it out there.
I'll give it to you.
Okay. Because I want everyone who's watching this and supporting us here and checking it out, whether they're with us live or if it's going to be on YouTube or Facebook. However people get to learn about this and share with us, it's all right. We just want to make sure that they're able to know all the information first, and if I can.
Obviously, there's seven acts that are happening. So.
Okay, so there's going to be 7 events there. Okay.
Or 7 acts, different bands, and some performances. So.
That's good. That's good. Have you been getting a lot of? What's the response been like? And by the way, I also want to say hello, Tina. Tina, I do see you. Tina DeBella is one of our guests. She's checking out the show. I see her in the chat room. And of course, people, you can ask questions. That's why we have Twitter, Facebook, all of that. I'm paying attention to it all, so you can ask questions as we go. But I was about to ask, how has the response been from other businesses?
Well, since it's new, a lot of people are kind of questioning, like, what is this? What is it about? Who are you? Like, what's going on? And then you have to kind of, express it. So I'm having some difficulties trying to find some sponsors at the moment. And
so you want to grow sponsors?
Yeah, because I'll be happy this year if we just, have enough just to build these games, because that's really the main piece right now, besides the Harmony Memorial Tree, which is going to be exciting.
Okay, so you just mentioned 2 things that are very interesting. So before we even go further about how people can be sponsors and help out to make sure that the kids are going to get everything they need, you're mentioning 2 things that are going to be featured events there. A Harmony Tree and
The
games.
life-size board games are one of the sponsored items. So we
Oh.
have the title sponsor, and then we have life-size board game sponsors.
Okay.
So that's why I mentioned those.
Okay. So what are these life-size games?
Well, we have hoping to have Candyland, Guess Who, which is one that's going to be very particular because certain people throughout the community are going to be the characters. That's exciting. So to show their support, some people are dressing up and being goofy and some are not. Either way, it's just showing who's involved and who's not. And then we have Connect 4, Jenga.
Wait a minute. You have a Connect 4.
Yeah.
That's that one with the slots. You got to get the 4 in a row or diagonal. Okay. So I do remember it. I am that old. And it's a fun game. And not everything has to be electronic. It's a fun game. I liked it. And how's that life size? So you're like getting really big slot
It's probably
things?
as tall as I am, so no, probably about 4 feet, probably about 5 feet.
That's a pretty big board.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing's usually about as big as my laptop screen, and you're making it like huge. So that's got to be kind of fun, and that's a lot different. Or people are going to be dressing up and doing things like life chess pieces, like there's a person standing there.
People dress up, if people want to come and show up and show support, and more power to them. I'm all about it because I just want to have fun with this and just have fun with these kids. The smile is the most important part.
Well, that is true, and that's a reward all of its own, and
yeah.
I think that's a wonderful thing. I would recommend if it can be done. I don't know. Maybe it's the kid in me, or I wasn't
Are you
pretty.
gonna dress up?
No.
Come on.
No. This is as much dressed up as out of costume as I get.
How about a hat?
I already have a hat.
Okay.
Minion has.
Have fun, Michael.
Minion has my hat on. People don't get to see Minion.
Yeah.
But,
Why are we not showing him?
why? Because Minion's quiet. He just okay. So just so no one knows what I'm talking about here. Actually, I'm gonna show him.
Grab him.
No. Yeah, grab him.
Okay.
Grab him.
Okay.
Just so people get to understand what I'm talking about here. I know no one understands, but what I'm doing to show, I have a.
Where is it?
I guess.
Very good.
Oh yeah, he's in there. So that's Minion. Okay, put him.
We're done.
But that's, and we're getting feedback. So it's because of the headphones.
Is it off?
No, you put them in underneath the mic.
Oh.
It gets feedback.
Sorry.
So yeah, and that's just one of the things you do radio. It's like, oh yeah, mic's right under the headphone, gets feedback. But
Oops.
yeah. So when I'm doing the show, Minion is there with me. He's my guest every episode. He's always there watching me in the audience, giving me feedback. So I hope everyone finds that cute. And actually, Tina mentioned Heather. You had emailed me at work about sponsorship. That she's looking at not being able to take on that level of sponsorship that you had said in the email to her, but maybe do a gift basket for raffle.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
She's looking at different ways that she can get involved. And actually, I'm wondering, and also how people might be able to donate, say, on Facebook. So the question being asked is, for sponsors who may not be able, what are the levels? Let's say that first. What are the levels of sponsorship that are available, or ways that people can donate either as a business or individuals? How can they help?
Well, the title sponsor starts at $5,000 and it goes to $25,000. Sorry, and $1,000. And
So say it again.
Okay, so title sponsor starts at $5,000 and then $25,000 and then $1,000. So and then it goes to two options with the $1,000. You can either use $1,000 for the title sponsor, or the $1,000 to switch over to Candyland. And then there's $500, and then $250. And then if you're not going to sponsor, we're definitely all about donations, big or small. Mm-hmm. And gift baskets are also great. You can go to our Facebook page. There's a link. It goes to the actual church's website and PayPal. You can send it up there. Like I said, anything counts at this point.
Okay,
it's a gift basket. We're accepting those too. That's part of the giveaways. and the raffles off,
So I have the page up on Facebook for people who may be interested. That's the Harmony Memorial Event. You can look it up. I have it on screen right now, but if you're listening to this on audio only, you'll be able to see that. You can go right there on Facebook. And you're saying that you're doing this in conjunction with a church that's helping to put this on.
Yep.
Can you mention which church that was?
Yeah, Christian Fellowship Bible Church of Afton. They are a small home church, and they're helping us and supporting us and sponsoring, the insurance part of it and the permit, and they really want to see this happen, and so don't I. So we're working together as a team.
Well, that's always important. And it's great to see that the churches are involved with the community in all these kinds of events. And I see that a lot.
Yeah.
It happens a lot more than most people think. So people can go to their, and say their name again is?
Christian Fellowship Bible Church. But the actual website is on my Facebook too. You can click.
On yours or on?
On the Harmony Memorial.
It is on the Harmony.
So that's where you would click. I think he also set up a PayPal button on there.
Okay, there should be a PayPal.
If not, just go to the church website that's listed on Harmony Memorial event Facebook page.
Okay.
And then right when you open it up, it'll go right to, if you want to click on it.
Okay. Well, no, they can't see that.
Oh, they can't.
No, I have okay, folks, I have a lot of screens going on. A lot of people are surprised. It's a real studio. I've got multiple screens. I've got all kinds of technology around. So whenever you see me moving around and twiddling around, it's because I've got stupid amounts of technology I'm trying to work with. So it's always interesting when people come in, they don't notice like when I'm doing stuff. It's like, what are you doing? It's like, okay, no one else sees this. I'm all.
I just want a green backdrop.
I will get that. I will improve the backdrop for guests. I definitely will. But focusing on that. So, and is it all right if people, and I know our guest on the chat room is saying, is it all right to share your information, your contact information, which I think
definitely.
is...
Yeah. There's an email address as well, just harmonymemorialevent@gmail.com if you want to email me or if you want to call me personally.
Yeah, and I have that up, and this is from the About page of the Harmony Memorial Event on Facebook, their Facebook page, and it does show here both the mission statement, which I'll mention in a second, but it also has contact information, phone number 607-242-1888. There is the email of harmonymemorialevent@gmail.com, and I believe the church is the CFB Afton, AFTON.org.
Yep.
And that's the church where people would be able to go and they can make the donations there. So that helps. And the mission statement, by the way, for the Harmony Memorial Event is to provide a positive, life-changing impact on children who have suffered trauma from the loss of a parent, abuse, and or various impacts that stem from addiction, whether that's alcohol, opioids, heroin, so forth. And so that's there, and I have that on the screen so people will be able to see that. So, and I'm glad that that was brought up. Thank you, Tina, for bringing this up so that people can know where to go, how they're going to do that. I've got we're talking about so many things here.
Yeah.
We're talking, and they're very serious.
Yeah.
It's a very serious issue. And we have such a big event that's going to be coming. Do you have any idea of how many people are expected to come?
No, I really don't. I'm assuming maybe 400 or 500 people, maybe more. Who knows?
That's really great. That would be huge. And people are bringing their kids with them?
Yeah. It's open to the public too, because we don't want to just, direct it. Well, this is aimed at certain children, but we also want to keep it open so some that may be embarrassed of this, will still come with their friends or something. Just to show support.
Okay, so it's not just people who are...
Yeah.
It's not like,
anybody can come.
Everyone and
Yes.
anyone in the community can come out and just support. It doesn't have to be someone who's had something happen to them.
Yeah, we're encouraging the public to come as well and show support, Definitely.
No, and that's always a good thing, and that's an important part of it. And I don't think enough people think of that. It's not like, oh, you have to be this person or in this situation. Anybody can show up and participate and just show their support for helping the kids through this kind of difficult event in their lives. And I think that's really important. There's going to be bands, many bands. There's going to be games and events for the kids. But looking forward, is one of the goals of the event to try and find a way to help the kids? I mean, is there going to be something there, or is it after? Is the success of this going to help kids with programs, and or is it something that'll happen at the event? How does that work?
Well, there's actually two of them. So at the event, we're doing the memorial tree, which we're encouraging children who have lost the parent to bring a photo, or they can email it to us, decorate it as a leaf and hang it on the tree. And then at the end of the event, we're going to have like a memorial ceremonial type thing to help with healing purposes and connect the children. So the goal after is to have these kids continue to stay connected. You know, as an only child, growing in that situation and not having any support is really hard to deal with. So the aim here is, what we're looking for is to have different businesses maybe sponsor an event at their location, teaching common knowledge concepts, you know, maybe bake cookies with them, or learn how to change a tire, just something simple. And that way they meet once a month instead of, you know, growing up alone, confused, don't really know how to deal with this. Now they're one big, huge group, eventually turn into their own little family, and they have a similarity. And that will be helpful in supporting them, as well as teaching them, you know, the common knowledge concepts that we're really losing around here.
Absolutely.
That's the goal.
It's a great goal. You know, anything that can move that forward to help kids. I want to take a quick break.
Okay.
We've been going for about 20 minutes here. So I want to take a quick break, give you a chance to, I know you hadn't had a chance to get a glass of water yet. So we'll do that. Then we'll come back, talk a little bit more about this, a little bit more about you. But I think it's great to be able to, and it's nice that we can have an extended conversation about it. I know it's usually on most media, it's like 3 minutes, and we're going to talk about that.
More personal.
Yeah. So, folks, we'll be right back. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with Heather Micha, the organizer for the Harmony Memorial event that will be happening on June 29th in Binghamton, New York at Rhett Park. And we'll talk more about that and answer more of your questions in just a few moments.
Sometimes a man is wrong. Oh, she took 5 steps. Oh, and she was gone. Oh, it's gonna love. Oh, it's gonna love. She said, I know you ain't got a cheating heart. Oh, your love is true. You just gotta, she never gonna fall. Oh, it's gonna love this time. Oh, it's gonna fire in a heart so cold. One touch, lost control. Oh, it's one of those times. Oh, I can't admit sometimes a man is wrong. Oh, she took 5 sips. Oh, she was gone. Oh, it's one of those times. Oh, it's one of those times.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Sorry about that. Technology switching over, getting our guest comfortable here in the studio and making sure we've got everything set for you. Trying to improve a little bit of the sound quality. My fault on that. And so we're trying to fix a whole lot of things in just a little bit of a break. So, and as you can see, we've improved a little bit of the video quality here so that you can see Heather a little bit better, and I expect you'll be able to hear her better as well. That's technical and my blame on that. So, Heather, we've been talking a lot about the Harmony Memorial event. We've been talking about how it's working with kids and how people can donate to it, how they can help out and help the businesses there, and that everyone in the community is welcome to come in and check out the event. These are all great things, but I think one of the things that, and I know you've been on WBNG, I believe it was WBNG, and you were also covered by one of the other news stations locally?
Fox 40.
Fox 40? Okay. So you're getting attention. It's starting to get some attention. Are you noticing that there's a what do you call that? Snowball effect, that it's people are gathering. It's like starting to get some attention out there, really serious focus.
Yep. I am.
Okay.
All in 1 week. So we'll see what next week brings, right?
Well, every week gets you a little, well, it's getting closer, so that's always a good thing.
Yeah, we're going to have follow-up with some of them as well. So we'll be back.
Good. And there's, it's always good to get more and more of that attention out there and let more people know about this. And hopefully we're going to reach a lot of people between Facebook and YouTube and those news organizations as well. Let me ask you, there's obviously a need for a lot of kids out there. A lot of kids have had a difficult time, especially in recent days. The economy's been bad, which has led to a lot of people having problems with addiction, all forms of addiction. And there's a lot of need. How have you seen it? I mean, what have you seen about that, both the need and what we can do to improve it? I mean, there's the Harmony event, and that's going to be important, but it's the stuff that's going to happen afterwards. How are we going to be able to help those kids? What do you see that being?
Well, the most important aspect of it all is love. These kids, are empty inside and feel lost, and they don't even know it. They think this is normal. And like I said earlier, it's a continuing cycle that needs to be broken, and we really need to come together and take back our community, because it's falling apart. And just really show support and in any way. I mean, everybody has their own strength. There may be somebody that could teach someone how to sing, or the arts, theater, maybe engineering. Who knows? It's just everybody has to come together and play their role.
No, that's always important. I mean, the more we're working together towards these goals, the better it's going to be for everyone.
Yeah.
And that's one of the biggest things. We got to work together on this. Let me ask you, you mentioned in the last segment when we were talking about the event overall, one of the things you mentioned that will be there for everyone, there'll be bands, there's going to be various events, life-sized games and game boards. But you also mentioned something about a memorial, a Harmony tree.
Yes. So
let's get some more clarification. What is the Harmony tree? What's its meaning? What is it?
To promote healing with the sculptured tree. It's going to probably be about 6 feet tall, and it's going to be a heart-shaped tree, like the logo, to bring back, the love and the memory of the lost parent to the child, to be something meaningful. It's really just to bring them together.
Okay, and so it's a sculpture.
Yeah.
And it'll look something like the image we just had on the screen, which is the logo.
Yeah, it'll be welded together. So
it's being welded.
Yeah.
Oh, do you have a local artist doing that?
We.
Or is there someone doing that?
Yeah, there's. It's in the works right now. We just have to get it established. I can't share that with you either, because it's the follow-up.
Okay, fine. I'm trying to find out all these things. See, folks, I'm trying to get answers for you.
It's really exciting.
It is. That's why I want to know who's doing it. So we got a 6-foot a sculpted tree, and the kids are going to be able to put little leaves or apples? Or...
Yeah, we're going to do leaves. So probably 4x4 size leaves. You can bring the picture. We're debating if we're going to glue it on there, or if we just have a little plastic to slide it in, and then they can put glitter on it, or anything that's special to them in regards to their parents.
Okay. And then they get to...
I can give you a name who's behind it.
Sure.
Shane Mallory.
Shane Mallory?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And Shane, is that S-H or S-E?
S-H.
S-H. That's a guy?
Yes.
Oh.
Is it a guy?
I don't know. Nowadays, people's names, it could be almost anything,
That's true.
So Shane Mallory is involved with that and helping to design that and get that set.
Yeah, because originally I was just like, let's just do a tree. And then he came over and he's like, I've been looking at your logo. We're going to make it look like a heart at every angle. So I'm like, that's exciting.
So it's like a 3D kind of heart.
Yeah, it's definitely 3D. We're going to have roots going into the ground. It's going to look...
Oh.
It's going to be awesome.
Okay, so that's a lot more interesting. It's not just... I was thinking it's like...
No, it's 3D. It's definitely going to be 3D. It's going to be big.
Okay.
And we're going to paint it and have fun with it.
Okay.
Maybe, possibly, if we could find a location to place it after the event, like Robeson or something, just for a month or so to keep it on display.
That would be great.
So and if anybody has any,
anyone has a contact over at the Roberson, or maybe some of the members of City Hall, and I'll be talking to one of the members of City Council about this later. But if they see this and they hear about it, and please, people, tell them about it.
Yes.
And say, hey, let's put this somewhere where people will be able to see it and keep the message going. And that's an important thing, as well as making sure we keep the message going.
Yeah.
And so the kids will be able to just put their leaves onto there and have that memory growing from there.
Yeah.
And then you'll just add more trees every year.
Well, there's going to be a lot on each branch. I mean, who knows? We haven't. I don't have the exact number yet, but we're going to put little holes, probably about an inch apart on the heart. So I think we're going to do 10 aluminum pieces around it. And then I think it's going to be 6 inches wide at the base.
Right.
And then probably 6 feet tall, maybe a little taller.
So it's going to have a lot of room to
Yeah.
have people adding on. And will they be able to add on like after the event? Have you thought about that? Like that they can contact you, either the organization, you, or the church, and say, hey, you know, I wasn't able to be there, but let me add on to it and let me help it continue.
I guess that depends on if we place it somewhere. If not, then, you know, probably just give them back the picture and have them bring it again next year.
Yeah, unless we can get it out to.
Yeah. That really just depends on what happens with it. If not, you know, put it away and then bring it back.
Yeah. Okay. And that's a good reason. And you know what? This is a reason maybe an organization out there, maybe a business would like to donate their location to be able to highlight this, or the city could volunteer a spot where they can put this as a highlight. Yeah. Kind of like, I know a great spot. You know what I'm thinking of?
No.
The Occupy Park, where they did the Occupy Binghamton protest right there on State Street.
Okay. Is it on the side of the building?
Where they tore down the building, and it's right across from Flashback.
Yeah.
There.
I'm just worried.
Right across from Dos Rios.
I'm just worried somebody might vandalize it there. I kind of.
Okay, good point. Well,
maybe have it indoors somewhere.
You have a better idea than me, because I just throw stuff out there. But no, again, these are ideas, and you know what, folks? You can talk to your local councilman, you can talk to the mayor, and say, hey, here's a suggestion of where it can go. Or if you have a business that says, hey, this would be beautiful and be able to be seen by the public, and you want to volunteer that, get in touch.
Please do.
So that's just another idea. Now, we're talking a lot about the event, and I'm sure it must take up a lot of time and a lot of energy to do these kind of things. It's got to be tough. Has it been hard on you?
Absolutely not. I love this type of stuff. I love talking to people and getting people motivated and excited. I mean, I've had a couple bumps here and there that we have overcome. But besides that, no, I really enjoy putting on events and just gathering people. It's a gift that I naturally have.
Well, it's always difficult. I'm surprised. A lot of people mention, especially their first event, first thing they're organizing. It often can be very challenging.
I think what's frustrating is finding the right sponsors right now. That's the most challenging aspect of it all. But everything else, like I said, the community is just coming together. It's fallen together beautifully. People, you know, like I said, everybody has different strengths and different connections, and everybody is working in those areas that I may not have the connection to or knowledge of, and that's what's making it so exciting. You know, it's just seeing it's the first year and it's already growing, and
that's important. That's the biggest thing. I mean, that the people are supporting it and it's growing, and that's critical. Just checking the chat room real quick, and I think we've answered some of the questions from Tina and others. I didn't notice anyone from Facebook at the moment. So we've got about another 5 minutes here, and I think we've learned a lot about this. But I want to take in talking about, for you, how does this feel to you? How is this seeing the response to this idea that you had and that you said, hey, I want to make this happen. And now seeing that there's attention coming from the news media, there's a focus in the community. People are saying, hey, I believe in this. How does that feel?
Well, not everybody believes in it. You know, I get some people that are kind of rude towards me and judgmental.
Really?
And that's okay. Yeah.
About this?
Yeah, because I don't know, some people don't want to hear it, you know, and that's probably the frustrating part. You gotta kind of decipher on who's all for it and who's not.
I'm surprised that anyone wouldn't be supportive of at least the idea. I am surprised. It's for kids. I am surprised that someone would be. And I understand everyone has a different opinion, views, whatever the reasons. And I'm not saying it's bad that they have this, that, or any other view. I'm just surprised that
People are negative about it. Well,
yeah,
not everybody, but
that
yeah.
people exist in that, and that they've been vocal about that.
I mean, you're going to have that in any area anyways.
True.
But the people that are on board, you know, it's awesome because they're just like, hey, can I help you gather this basket? Can I help you do this? And I'm like, can I just have 10 more of you? Please? So those people need to come forth.
Yeah. But how does it feel, though, to see something that you've worked on?
It's wonderful. It really is. I mean, I was involved with a women's group before, and I was having more issues getting more people on board for fighting for women than for children. So it's definitely a different type of category that more people are passionate about with kids.
That's interesting. I never considered that.
With the women, yeah.
Yeah. Partially, I'm sure, because I'm not a woman, I'm a guy, so I don't necessarily it's not something that would immediately come to my mind.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of the issue, especially, you know, if you don't have kids. I don't have kids, but yet I believe in the Harmony Memorial event. I know a lot of the people I know who are single, who don't have kids, also say, hey, you know, but I love kids. So we see it more universally, and women's issues are not necessarily as immediate on that. But hopefully that's changing. And
Yeah.
the more we get these kinds of events, the more people get to know that and say, hey, let me appreciate that in a positive way, you know, positively approaching it. So we've tried to cover a lot of ground on this, and I wanted to make sure people had an opportunity to see this event from a lot of different ways. You know, what's going on with it, how open it is to people, how they can support this, which is important, because if we don't get support for this, things like this can't happen.
Yeah.
We can't help the kids if the businesses, if sponsors aren't there, if donations aren't there. We won't have the money to take care or help the kids, and that's a big thing.
Yeah.
But also just people participating, showing up, is a big thing.
Well, we need volunteers too.
And volunteers.
We're gonna need volunteers to help run the games and, you know, give out vouchers and all of it. It all plays a role.
Yeah,
So,
and we've got about a month.
yeah.
So a lot of stuff's coming together. There's still things to be done.
Yeah.
But I think it's really important that we emphasize how, and why I'm speaking about that, we could have this extra time to talk about it, to say, hey, there's every reason to support and to be, whether it's being there, talking about it, donating, and sharing, and having the opportunity for kids to be able to have that outreach. I think these are all important things. And I'm hoping that it's just going to get bigger and bigger. Hopefully this will be, you know, biggest
Nationwide. That's the goal.
Yeah, I would be thrilled if this becomes viral and this is the most important and best program that I do, and people spread it all over the place. Please do. You know, not for me, but
No,
for the
it's for the
event.
kids. We're
For
fighting
the
for
event.
We're fighting for the weak, you know,
Yeah.
the children.
If people want to share anything and they share nothing, when you see this on Facebook, you see this on YouTube, share this. Just even this section, and that'll be its own section, just so people can know more about the Harmony event for the kids. It's not about me. I don't monetize, so just do that. Is there anything I missed? Anything that we haven't touched on?
I don't think so. I think that's about it.
All right. Obviously, we want to follow up more as we get closer to the event. We'll try and get you back in again, see what the next update is. But with that said, I want to again mention to people and show them here. It's the Harmony Memorial event. You can see it on Facebook under that name, and you'll be able to see the page and learn more about it. It will be on June 29th, 2019. It will start at 10 a.m. going until 6 p.m. at Recreation Park. You are able to, it's open to the public. Everyone's welcome. Kids are especially welcome to the event. Vendors, donations are always welcome. And you can check that out. And you were trying to say, nope, you're letting me run. Oh, okay.
What?
I thought I saw you.
Yeah, because there was just one more aspect. It was with the vendors.
Yeah, go ahead.
I forgot to talk about. So we're also trying to support the community and plant the seeds in the minds of these children. So we want businesses or nonprofits to come and set up a table and not just give out like promotional type objects, but more or less come do arts and crafts or something fun that will, I guess, show for your business or your nonprofit. That's really what we're looking for as well. So
Okay.
we want to have the community also be in the light.
Well, yes. And that's why I mentioned it's in Binghamton. It's in Rec Park. It's part of Binghamton. This is
the gem.
And Broome County, not just Binghamton, but
Yeah.
Broome County. And this isn't just that's why it's so open to the public. And that's what vendors are for.
Yeah.
That's what sponsors are for. And all of it comes together. And all of it is meant to come together to help the kids. So I do hope people check out the site and mention that they heard about this, share this with people so that they can learn more about it.
# Harmony Memorial Event.
Oh, yes, hashtags.
Don't forget the hashtag.
I'm old. I don't do hashtags. But yes,
gonna
hashtag.
teach you.
Hashtag it, people. Hashtag it. Okay. So with that said, we're going to take another quick break, and we'll be right back. We have our guest, Dr. Giovanni Scoringi of the Binghamton City Council. We'll be talking with him, and we'll be talking about Representative Anthony Brindisi and the scandal that's going on in his office as he tries to do something in Congress. And we'll talk more about that in just a little bit.